Hey, welcome back to my home studio slash bedroom. Today I have another video in this series where I get commissioned to make a track from a reference track inspiration for some sort of audiovisual purpose like a movie or a short film, or in this case an advertisement. I'm Vanille. I'm a film music composer, a producer, a singer-songwriter. I've been doing a bunch of work in film lately, but a girl's gotta eat, so sometimes I do get these cool little advertisement gigs. And actually it's super fun. It's kind of like a sandbox where you get to test different things out. So this is a little fun percussive cue I made for the 30-year anniversary video promo for a film school here in Montreal. It's kind of out of my normal comfort style of, slow emotional music. This one is happy, energetic, upbeat, percussive. We're gonna get wild, kinda. It's a great starting point to look at what established people have done before and try to analyze what their tracks sound like, what the instruments are, what the type of melodies and feels are, and then try to replicate it, but not copy. Get inspired and make your own version of the track. You can just unlock new ways of thinking and of creating, and I find it super useful. Let's get into it. Reference track. So this is the reference that I was sent by the filmmaker who was making this advertisement. So the first things I notice are the vibes. You can see it's super upbeat, energetic, happy, cheerful, like, ooh, party time. The film school was making this really geared to young people, so it has to feel like fresh and young and exciting. So how do I proceed when I get a prompt like this? Usually I just identify the main element. So here we have a piano doing a super repetitive line, and it's very short, very simple, straightforward, easy harmonies. So I'm gonna try to do something that sounds a little bit like that. I'm gonna use the same tempo because I know she likes that speed, and it's gonna be good with that speed. Got my little keyboard. So the original piano goes like this. Just on loop forever and ever. It actually took a while to find a version of this that's not the same, that has the same type of groove, but isn't like too similar. It's still kind of similar, but we changed some other things later on to make it more unique. I found this little ditty. So it's kind of similar, it's bouncy, it goes down and then it comes back up. There's a lot of syncopation, which means that the accents end up falling not on the beat. So we have our bass layer, and I'm gonna be doubling this down at the octave. Now we need some percussion, because that is the second thing I notice about this reference. It's like super percussion heavy. I got a simple Ableton woodblock. Yeah. I'm fully gonna go quantize this, because I need at least one element to be super in time, otherwise everything's gonna get super messed up. I want to add a little bit of shaker because that's in the reference track. I think I'm gonna go get a bunch of samples online of random percussive sounds, like snaps and claps and booms and like it's gonna be great. I'm just gonna drop them in wherever they seem to fit, make it sound cool. I'm gonna accent some downbeats and some upbeats to sort of get you feeling like, ooh, a little element of surprise. All right, we got a little bit of fun percussion. We're starting off with a stripped back beginning, and then layers are just gonna appear. So it's gonna get more and more and more and more intense. So I've been doing a lot of composition lately. I've done a bunch of film gigs and trying to work on my album, and I've been doing a lot of focusing on the musicality of it all. So what I mean by that is melodies and arrangements and chord progressions and how the music feels. And I think I've sort of let down my mixing side lately a little. My sound engineer background has just sort of been forgotten about as I focused a lot on music in a way. But the two are so intrinsically linked, and I really want to get back to being more creative in my mixing and sort of get my confidence back up because I have all this knowledge and I'm just not using it or applying it because I'm just going so fast with my productions. So anyway, it was cool when my friend John, who went to university with me and briefly was my band member, here's a snippet of a demo that never came out that we recorded. He's co-founded this audio company and they sent me their new plugin, so I've been playing around with it and it's cool. I'm going to show you. iamvanille is a multiband processor that uses effects that I already own. I can put in all my EQs and my compressors and my effects that I like into it and separate them by EQ band. We're gonna get nerdy. I've put it onto my piano track because I want it to stand out more in the mix, but I don't want it to take up all the room sonically because the piano is kind of an instrument that uses the whole frequency range. It can get a little muddy and a little messy if you add a bunch of effects to it. So what I've done is I've put in a compressor that I have just on the low end. It's boosting that low end a little bit without affecting the natural attack of the high end. Then I've put reverb on just the high end, which is cool because when you add reverb to a piano track, sometimes it just ends up being super overbearing, making everything less clear. Instead, I'm just highlighting the nice little tail end of my piano sound. Finally, I've put in a little bit of chorus just on the mids. Because why not? I am trying to be more creative and see what happens. I think it's fun. It does help the piano stand out in the mix and have this funky little sound. I'm gonna show you like on and off versions of what it sounds like in the final mix of the track so you can actually get the full effect. I think it's a pretty cool tool, and it's kind of unlocking some creativity in me mixing wise. I'm excited to play with it. If you think that this is something that could be interesting for you, they're having a reduced price right now. I'll link it below. And my friend John is also a YouTuber, so if you want to check him out, I'll link his channel below. Okay, back to the music. I added a whole bunch more percussion to this session. It's way more fun now. It's getting a sort of Cuban feel, which I'm not mad about. I think I'm really leaning into the tropical vibes, even though the reference is actually pretty straight. It's got those trap beats, hip hop little hi-hat thing. And I've replaced it with mostly acoustic wooden sounding instruments. Castanets and stuff. And I added some horns. This was actually requested by the filmmaker because she wanted to add more punch and energy in the beginning of the track, and she was right. I found some horn samples online and I cut them up to what I wanted them to sound like. Usually just taking individual notes, retuning them to fit, and replacing them to make a totally different melody. I don't like to use samples that I find online totally in their normal form because I don't know, that's not composing or it's just too much like cheating. So I have to at least get more creative, more control over how the samples sound. So usually I just mess them up and do some collage with them. And I added some voices a little bit. I sang because why not? So wait, there's a drop. I thought of this before the images were even filmed. I was like, okay, we have 30 seconds. It's actually kind of a long time for a very repetitive ad music. So I knew I wanted to have some start and stop. So we're all building up towards this big moment, and then the sound stops, and then boom, we drop and we continue with a more intense part 2. So how do we ramp up energy? Pretty simple. You just go up in pitch. I added some piano bits that go up. Bum, ba-da, ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da. Otherwise, just the classic reverse cymbal, you can't go wrong. And a little bit more percussion just in the section before the silence. It's simple, it's effective, I think it works well. Okay, so now how do we keep the energy up after all of this? I need to make it more intense, more cheerful, and also to adapt to the video, because there's a moment where we switch into an underwater world with VR, and so I need that to have some space for us to be sort of enveloped in this new environment. So we're closely following the storyline, because this is like a music to picture track, so I'm constrained by very specific moments in the video that I have to follow and support. I doubled the piano at the octave higher, so that helps immediately. A little higher pitch, woo, we're feeling it. I added some low-end booms, literally action strikes, boom. Big moves. I put this Dorobake plugin, Middle Eastern sounds. It's, you know, wow, which hand? This hand. Pretty loud. It really adds a whole new energy to the track. And then some little fun keys chords. And a bit of funky bass. I'm also doing some voice, some because why not? It actually super helps.
Il y a un regard, une intention.
Good. So when in doubt, just go like. Apparently it's super effective to get the energy up. And then we slow down to the end with a little contemplative piano line that goes up and some hums. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this little video on how I make advertisement music. It's kind of different from my usual soulful stuff, but it's good, you know, get to branch out. You learn some stuff. I liked to get creative with the percussion in this one. It was pretty fun. Let me know if you want to see some of my longer film cues explained. I could try to do that. I'm going to a festival in 2 weeks in France where my short film is in competition. Woo! So maybe I could break down some of that music. It's all synth-based. It's kind of cool. You guys might like it. Let me know in the comments what your approach is to making a track, like your preferred approach. Do you start with instruments? Do you start with samples? What's your inspiration? I'm curious to see how other people are working. Otherwise, what's the news? I passed my Canadian citizenship test, so that's exciting. I'm gonna be a double passport holder, baby. Although it does hurt my heart a little bit because I'm from France, I'm French, and in order to become a Canadian citizen, you need to swear allegiance to the King of England. Which just feels very wrong, since we have had a little cultural war going on for the past millennia with England. But it's fine, it's all good. It's just symbolic. Oh, and I've been experimenting with different guitar tunings, which is super fun. I never did that before. I think it might be a really cool way of getting around my weak hands. Because I never learned how to play guitar properly, and it's a struggle. Hope you're doing good. I will see you in the next video.